The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Hot, bold, sweet, smooth, and always flavorful. Welcome to my morning coffee. 3 generations of successful women, brewed with black girl magic, and French press with class, sass, and style. Gia, Tonya, and Syreeta are my morning coffee.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of My Morning Coffee with
me, Syreeta,
and me, Gia, and me, Tonya. Happy to be here. Have missed you guys immensely. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever. Last we were here was in April.
Yes.
And now we are in May.
We are.
Mental Health Awareness Month. So we have some really cool things coming up. But before we jump into the heavy stuff, let's talk about what we've been up to. Let's start with you, Syreeta. Where have you been? What's been up with you? I haven't seen much of you lately.
You're right. It has been, what have I done? I always blank out. I always say, what have I done? I went to a couple concerts, which it's Mental Health Awareness Month, but I want to get the fun stuff out first. I went to a couple concerts. I went to see the Reverend Mr. Al Green himself, and it was absolutely amazing. And then we went to, it's something with, it's not with Parliament, but it was honoring George Clinton because he got an honorary Grammy or a Grammy. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I still have this cold. And that was really fun, and a lot of people came out to support that. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day.
To the both of you, Happy Mom's Day. So that was really cool. I didn't get to spend it with my moms, but I was a part of something really special.
What was that?
I did an event, and actually, I didn't do an event. Yesterday, did a good deed, and it made me feel very good for another mom.
Please share.
Good. So me and Kevin were going to get cupcakes, and there was this little girl, and they had completely sold out. Shout out to Sweet Red Peach. Hopefully at some point we can get y'all on because they're the bomb. But they had completely sold out. It was the end of the day, and I had my cupcakes or whatever, and I was leaving, and a mom and a little girl came up, and the little girl was like 3. She walked into Sweet Red Peach, and they were all sold out. They didn't have anything, and she busted out in tears, like,
I shouldn't laugh.
Oh, my God.
like
the tears, like when you get whipping type tears?
Yes, like her heart was broke.
Oh.
And I looked at her mom, and I was like, is it okay if I give her a cupcake? And she said, oh, yes. And so
please.
I said, well, were you crying because you didn't have cupcakes? And she was straight up thug. She was like, nah, I wasn't crying because I wasn't. No, what are you talking about? So I was like, well, would you like a cupcake? She opened her cupcakes up. I opened, and I was like, pick the one that you want. And she was like, the confetti. She had been here before.
Kids are simple.
And she got her confetti cupcake. All was good in the world. And Mom was just like, thank you so much, because I was about to have a full-on meltdown with her.
Okay, so for real, you was talking to her mother in that little low, that soft voice,
yes.
Like, can she have a cupcake?
Yeah,
You really went there on her?
Yeah,
I
you
did.
have to ask. You have to ask parents, because somebody offers my kids.
Well, no, I'm not
something.
asking, but I'm just saying that voice. You got that low, like, like.
Yeah, because if she would have said no, then
the daughter would have heard.
You would have been embarrassed.
No, the little girl would have been.
Then throw a fit.
Oh.
Because
I don't think
now
that
the
little
mama
girl would have been the way you just said she was acting. I don't think she would have been.
No, but I didn't know if the mom. I didn't know what the circumstances were. So you want to check with the mom first to make sure that it's all good.
Clearly.
Before you go offering your goodies.
Right, and you don't want to let the kid know that you're asking because
I just want you to use that voice sometime when you talking to me, because sometimes you be kind of like really. So I want to hear that little soft voice sometime, because sometimes you
This
scare
is the
me.
reason. This is the reason that we don't go seeing each other for 2 weeks. The simple things like
understand.
that. Anyway,
so what else did you do?
So that was my good deed for Mother's Day. Just working, going to, I think I would be remiss to say, with it being Mental Health Awareness Month, I am excited and love going to therapy. And this week, my therapist and I, because this was my first Mother's Day without my grandmother. So talking about grief and letting go and how to honor the people that we lose during significant times. So whether it's Mother's Day, her first birthday, my birthday is this week. So, honoring her in that way. So I'm very thankful that I had the years that I had with her and just being full with gratitude and being able to get there through therapy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Wow. Well, that's good.
Am I working on anything else right now? I think I told you guys what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Still doing the panels. I have a presentation coming up on Wednesday talking about cultural diversity.
Nice.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
So you've been busy.
I have been busy.
You didn't share with them that I got to see you recently.
You did, but that's your check-in.
Well, it was your first experience. I had been there.
Oh, yes.
Y'all, wait a minute.
Stop.
They did something without me, but it's okay.
It didn't have to be without her. That was her choice. We went because one of our illustrious co-hosts, Tonya McKenzie, was a speaker on KABC, the Dr. G show. And I got to play groupie for the day. I mean, I've had practice, but
You look good. You look good too. When I saw you, I was like, she's a cute groupie.
I am a cute groupie.
Yeah.
I clean up well.
Yeah.
She's a good sidekick.
Yeah, I am. And it was a really great experience seeing Tonya, just in her element, talking about her advocacy work. And I was like,
Well, I call her the queen of conversation.
She is the
She
queen
doesn't
of
know that,
conversation.
but I call her that, the queen of conversation. So, yeah.
So with that, we did get a chance to do the KABC show with Dr. G. This was my second time with him. I love being with him. He has a concierge addiction program. Mm-hmm. So a lot of work that he does kind of leads back into some of the situations that he deals with. Of course, it's addiction, but, there's usually some type of trauma that has led to addiction. So
always.
His shows always revolve around trauma, and this show was amazing because it was all individuals that have suffered trauma or have actually acknowledged that they're dealing with post-trauma. And there was 2 vets.
Yep.
One of them actually started in an incubator. She was amazing. Her name is Alicia Hanef, Hanf. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her incubator is amazing. I'm going to introduce her to some people and try to move that forward because there's always, looking for diversity and other military vets that are growing their businesses. So the work that she's doing in that space is huge. Mm-hmm. Joanne Barron, who is an amazing individual in the mental health space, her and I connected a lot on the childhood trauma. And I think you and her connected, and she'll continue to reach out to you. Scott Singer, who's also a vet, and now he has a program where he helps individuals that are dealing with trauma. And then there was me. So it was a great conversation. Dr. G always leads us down the right path, and it was solutions-based. So that was great. We had some call-in, some call-ins that got incredibly interesting. Yeah. It sounded like one of them had, lived the life, and he came from a family of violence and drugs, and he really wanted to just know, I want to step out of this space, and I don't know how. So being able to go around and hear everybody's take on what those solutions look like was huge. And then there was a couple callers that they wouldn't even let through. So that was...
Oh, wow.
She was like,
no. Moving on.
We're not doing that today because it was about to be a mess. So it was fun. It was definitely fun. The cool part about that is how we get to connect afterwards and see how we can, partner up. I love, partnerships and collaboration. So one of the executive directors reached out to get Syreeta's information afterwards, so I can definitely see them doing something in the future. So, anytime you have the opportunity to partner and collaborate and bring more voices into the room and more solutions, particularly with mental health, it is important. But any business venture, we highlight entrepreneurs here all the time. So anytime we can get together and extend our reach and partner together and grow our wealth, I think that is incredibly important.
I also think that, sorry to cut you off, the fact that the setting was a radio podcast setting, that was really helpful for me as well, to see how other people do their podcasts, do their work as well. That was really cool to see, and just the flow that they had, and having callers call in, and so that was really
a learning
great.
experience, and you got some nuggets.
Really great nuggets.
Okay, good.
And we had some laughs. So, the breaks are always great. Crack a couple jokes.
You are funny, Tonya, so it's always
a little bit. I did recently, actually on Friday, speak at the South Bay Women's Conference.
Yes, second annual, right?
It was the 6th annual.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah,
I thought I saw
it was
second
the 6th,
on
and it might have been the largest crowd that I've spoken in front of.
Wow,
hundreds of people there. They had 1 million vendors, so whoever handled the vendors did a great job. Girl, I almost had ADHD walking through there. I was like
overwhelmed.
I want everything. I wanted everything. So that was fun. The cool part about that, it was the first time I ever had a line of people wait to talk to me afterwards. It was
Get used to it, girl.
Get used to it. Queen of conversation.
It's gonna happen all the time.
I'm not gonna talk to G anymore today.
Okay.
But it was kind of weird because you never know when you're done speaking if you actually touched the crowd with the message that you intended to. So for individuals, there were those that wanted to collaborate afterwards, and then there were those that wanted to speak on a mental health issue that they might be going through. So one was talking about an employee that she deals with, that she knows that she has had some childhood trauma, but she brings that into the workspace. And she said, I love her. I really love her, and I want to support her, but I don't know what to do with this. That's of this. A lot. And she kind of went more into detail about that, and I was like, that's toxic.
Right. That is, but that's
and you can love someone without accepting their bad behavior. And I think we all go through that in our lives. For those of us that are searching for a more healthy dynamic, we have individuals that are not and don't want to be. Yeah. And they're totally fine with that.
Yes.
What were we talking about? Dr. G, trauma with drama?
Yes.
So there's the trauma with drama. There's already.
And then what was it? The drama llama?
Drama llama.
Right.
So one of the ladies, that was hilarious. She started a business and she has a llama. So, it's great.
Okay.
So when you used to say, save the drama for your mama. She was like, but I'm the mama. And I don't want that drama.
I don't want that drama.
So I went and bought a llama.
Okay.
Now I'd be like, save the drama for your llama. So now she has a drama llama that she sells.
Okay, drama llama. So you talk to the drama llama? Is that what you do?
I talk to you.
I know you talk, but I'm saying for a person, they would. Yes, I know. I know you do talk to me. Yes.
I just call you, dump it, and then move forward. Yeah. So I didn't get to see the llama, but I would buy one. Because I have I got some relatives.
Okay, they need the llama.
I got a couple sorority sisters.
Send them out.
Girl.
With a note.
I got some people.
Oh, yeah. That might
Christmas gifts.
That might be Christmas gifts.
I don't know. That might be some Christmas gifts. I'm sending out drama llamas. Yeah. I'm calling Alicia right after.
All summer 19. Drama llamas.
Good stuff. And then I did want to share. I did meet Rosie O'Neill.
Oh.
She is an amazing individual. She was the keynote for the morning. She is actually the co-founder of Sugarfina. Have you ever?
Yes.
You know about Sugarfina?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm cultured.
Oh, well, was not that cultured. I am, but
okay, look,
it's a candy. It's an adult candy store.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, your culture.
She said in Beverly Hills. Yeah,
on Beverly Hills.
I'm not Beverly
got
Hills.
one.
Oh, you're not
cultured.
bougie like Queen.
I have
Y'all bad.
I have seen.
You see all this?
Stop. I have
Okay.
seen her store before. I just don't go in there because it's sugar. So I'm trying to stay away from the sugar. But she had like gummies, peach Bellini, champagne
in gummy form,
bubbly.
Yeah, like in jelly beans.
Yeah, they're
and
good.
Wait a minute, but somebody knows about it.
A lot of people know about it.
Somebody on this panel, and
they never brought.
Never brought anybody none. We done Christmas done went by. Somebody
aren't you trying to cut back on your sugar intake?
Oh, okay. You going with that?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
all right.
So I brought these for you guys because this is my morning coffee, and these are her. But first, coffee beans, and they have espresso.
Absolutely not.
And bourbon.
I'll be up for.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some.
Gia and I will handle this.
So tell me how it is. I'll be crip walking to the sunrise tomorrow.
I don't know because this might have me like bouncing.
Yes.
Yeah, this is. I would love to see you crip walk though. I would. That right there, I would like to see.
Oh my god.
Offline.
Stop. I might have to wait for the weekend for these.
She's actually pretty good at it.
Oh, she is.
Anyways, Rosie is amazing. She told her story.
Rosie.
And she's a pretty amazing individual. But they do have a Sugar Fina in Santana Row in San Jose. Oh. So, anytime somebody says something about San Jose, I was like, girl, we got to hang out. So, Rosie, she has a pretty awesome story, though. She's like a serial entrepreneur, but this is
I don't know
really
what story,
her thing.
but
yeah, you should
really?
find it. Yeah, we'll talk about it offline.
Cool.
But shout out to Rosie and the women of the South Bay Women's Conference. Thank you for the opportunity. Yay. It was amazing. Hopefully, I'll be able to partake next year. And
I want to tag along. I don't know if I want to be a groupie. I may want to be a speaker.
No. Maybe. I think that will be good. Oh, and Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to piggyback off what you said about missing your grandmother because I don't have my mother or my grandmother. So instead of, let me see, how do I put this? Instead of falling into my depressive state, I actually highlighted all the women that are in my mom circle, my mom tribe. All the women that, support me when I'm going through things with the kids and want to pull my hair out, including women like y'all. But these are all moms that we support each other. We, this is what happened with my 10-year-old or I'm about to kill my 17-year-old and all that good stuff because I do think it takes a village and we all need support. And for those that feel like they can do it on their own, they're absolutely wrong. And they need to teach their kids how to be able to have healthy conversations about issues, right?
And to play well in the sandbox with others.
Well, and for women to be able to do that is a huge thing. So, PR Biz Mom on my Instagram if you want to see all the women that are in my amazing mom tribe. And other than that, what's up with you, Miss Gia? What have you been up to?
Well, let me see. You guys have been very busy since we last been together, but I've been busy too. I've been out in those streets of LA. I've been in the streets. I've been in the streets. Yes, I've been in the streets. So let me see, what have I been doing?
Officer Gia?
Yeah, so I attended the inaugural Diamond Lee Art and Jazz Festival in the city of Carson. It was really nice. It was really, really nice. They had local artists, both art artists and music artists. And they also, Maxie Priest was there, So, hey, shout out to Maxie because that's our song when we opened up the show.
Yes.
He performed, and then the headliner was Kim. When I say awesome, it was awesome. Kim is always good, but if you weren't there, you missed out. It was really nice. They put on a really nice event, so hopefully next year you guys will come out. More people will come out because it's a really nice venue. And it was at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and it was really nice. So I did that. Let me see what else have I done? Oh, I went to. I had training at work, so I had CPR and first aid refresher course.
Oh, so I can choke and
so now I can save some of y'all.
Yay!
Yeah, so I'm back in.
She said some though, and there's only 2 of us. Yeah. So
I'm back in business. So I can save a life again. So yeah. So every 2 years we have to get have a refresher in first aid and CPR. So I passed. So that's a good thing. So I'm good to go for 2 more years. I did that, and let's see what else have I been doing. Oh, I went to the Obama naming, street naming ceremony.
I was hoping
that was awesome. When I tell you awesome, it was awesome. The vibe was so like out of this world. Locals.
You guys
I
are
was
such
just like,
community
yeah.
activists.
So I was out there. You guys would have been you would have been so proud of me because I was out there amongst the people.
You're amongst the people.
Yeah, I was amongst the people. I was talking. Yeah. I put it out there. They had a lot of vendors. They had a lot of artists. Dougie Fresh, Yo-Yo was there, and there was a surprise guest. Stevie Wonder showed up at the end. What? So it was.
You stayed the whole time?
I stayed the whole time. I was in the streets. When I said I was in the streets, I was in the streets. What? Okay. Yes, your girl was out there. Yes, in the streets.
I saw your pictures.
I was making some connections, talking about a little bit of my morning coffee. They had vendors. Oh, they also had the Divine Nine, the Greeks. They all had tables there. Oh. And shout out to Gardena Zeta chapter, alumni chapter. They had a really, really, really nice table. And they also had my morning coffee mug on their display.
Well,
they sure did. They had this little cute little mug
well, thank
on
you.
their table. Yeah, shout out to my Sands, Michelle Miller for hooking it up. She's always supporting my morning coffee and supporting us. Yeah. So that was kind of good. And I met some teachers from one of the local schools that have a STEM program there, so magnet school. So I talked to her about maybe coming on the show, to talk about the STEMs, their STEM program. So that was kind of cool. What else did I do? I wasn't a vendor. I was a little disappointed in that, but it was still fun.
Did you apply to be a vendor?
No, I didn't know anything about it. You know, I'm always the last to know. About some of these things.
Keep those collaborations coming.
But I was glad to be there as a spectator. That just to be amongst the people. It was really a good vibe. I got a sign, so I got it mounted. So I'm going to hang it up in my house. So yes, I feel official. So that was kind of cool. What else? I too went to see the Reverend Al Green.
Oh, so you two were there together?
No, we weren't there together.
No, that's not what you said.
We both was there with our booze. Mm-hmm. But we weren't together.
Nope.
And it was really nice.
Disclaimer.
Yeah,
right, because folks be trying to get salty. I.e. Gia.
Yeah.
Me too, but
so
we be mad when two of us hang out and the other one doesn't. So everybody gonna just get together now.
So no, it wasn't.
What, I got leprosy or something? What? You didn't want to hang out with me?
I didn't know ahead of time. She just happened to post that she was there. I was like, oh, Syreeta B is here. That kind of thing. Stuff. Nice. So
lovely.
I'm really happy that we were able to see him. Because I don't know how much more he's going to be touring. This may be one of the last times. So I think everyone should see legends perform.
Yeah.
And yesterday was Charlie Wilson, Stephanie Mills, and
Patti LaBelle, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like we should all make it a point at some point in time to see the legends because they're not going to tour as much.
And what I have coming up, I'm going to be doing the Mid-City Art Music Festival.
Yes,
I'm doing that in June.
I saw a billboard.
So yes. So
where'd that come from?
Out and see
Why are we doing that?
Why are we doing it?
No, what they gonna have? Because
they're gonna have music and art and vendors. All in the streets. Okay, in Mid-City. In our hood. So got to come out and check it out. Support.
It isn't in Redondo Beach.
Yeah. It's in the hood. Can you be able to make it?
Right.
Will you be able to come over?
Right.
Come over past what's that street?
Wasn't that you that said you would be at the South Bay Women's Conference?
You didn't remind me. Oh. Yeah, I need reminders. Remember?
I don't remember on this one.
I am the elder.
She always pull. Yes. I am the elder.
Yes,
she's the elder until it's a music festival,
right? And then she in these streets,
and then I'm in the streets, and I'm like, hey.
People would have told me there was some music there. I don't know. So, you want to tell us what's coming up?
So today we have a very exciting show. I have my notes here, but I don't know why I always do this. I put a welcome like I'm going to be reading like a...
I don't know.
It's fine. But once again, since it's Mental Health Awareness Month, that is what we're going to be speaking about. It's only fitting. I think it's important for us to continue to spread the word, get the word out. And despite the fact that, yes, I am the resident therapist, we are having a woman come on who is doing such amazing things in the community. Her name is Miss Kandee Lewis, and she has a program and a project where she is actually looking and reaching out to teens, which is a demo that is really underserved and underrepresented in the mental health sphere. So we're going to have a conversation with her today and talk about her journey and how she came to work in the mental health field and what her journey has been like. So when we come back, we will have Miss Kandee Lewis on My Morning Coffee. Is that a sexy or low enough voice for y'all?
Yeah, that was. I like that. Sexy.
Oh, my God. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to My Morning Coffee with Syreeta, Gia, and Tonya. We are bringing to you today the amazing Kandee Lewis. She is the executive director of the Positive Results Corporation. Let me tell you why I love her so much. Just the name of her organization is amazing. It is the Positive Results. Okay, that is results oriented, and I have seen her at work, and she inspires, she moves crowds, and she solves problems. So, Miss Lewis, if you don't mind introducing yourself and letting us know a little bit more about you.
I think you just did a great job. Thank you so much. So, hey everybody, I'm Kandee Lewis, and yes, I am the executive director of the Positive Results Corporation. We address teen dating, violence, sexual assault, and bullying, primarily in youth and communities of color, but we work with everyone. So we have 4 different platforms that we work with. We start with our youth, And we teach them to be peer advocates. That means that we give them everything that we have, every bit of knowledge. We give it to them, we share it with them, and then teach them how to share it with other people. Because it's unfortunate that violence and abuse happens all the time. It doesn't stop when we leave the room. And so our kids are facing all kinds of trauma, drama, violence, and abuse. And if we don't inform them and give them the skills and the tools, then they don't know what to do with it, and it continues. We want to stop the cycle of violence, and we believe that we can with conversation and education. We also work with government entities, such as the police, sheriff, probation, Department of Mental Health and Public Health, and we teach them what trauma looks like from a cultural perspective. We all know that we see the violence every day with people that are supposed to be in leadership. And I think a lot of it has to do with them not understanding how we show up. They see us and they think, oh, she's so loud and she's so aggressive, so she must be on something. Or because I refuse to talk to you, that I have an attitude. But it's always the fact that you don't look at what that person is doing, but what have they been through? That's really what we need to understand. And not only that, but how does their trauma impact someone else's trauma?
Yes.
Yep.
So we work with that. And we have community events. Oh, my goodness. In the last 2 weeks, the Spirit has moved through us. So on, I believe it was April 27th, we had our third Promoting Healthy Manhood Conference.
Oh, okay.
So let me tell you about that. Takes a woman to teach a man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I said it. Takes
She
a
said
woman
it, y'all.
to teach a man how to have conversation with other men. So this conference engaged nothing but boys and men to have conversation with other men.
Okay.
We had about 197 men of color.
What?
Wow. Yes. They showed up in Compton at the Dollarhide, and the conversation started with Dr. George McKenna on education. Big John Harrell spoke on the abuse that he experienced as a child that led to the dysfunction as a man, which led him to a place of healing and forgiveness so that he could change his community that he disrupted. We had a conversation called Abuse, Consent, and Other Conversations. We had Dustin Baker. I can't even begin to name everybody's name. So let me just say that we had men of every ethnicity and sexuality that showed up talking about their abuse and their experiences and where it led them and how they are now, what they're doing today. We then went into playing a game of human bingo. Get everybody up. Right. Find out who's in the room, and you realize that you're not the only person that's experiencing some of these things. Right. Lunch, fabulous lunch, mentoring section, and then we brought in, oh my gosh, Pastor Ed Robinson, Shantez Williams, and also Ben Taco Owens talking about forgiveness and healing. These gentlemen have gone through horrific violence. Shantez talked about the loss of his daughter, his mother, and his aunt within a short span, and it was all related to domestic violence.
All three?
Yes. Wow. And how he, as a prisoner, was also a shot caller and said, today is the day that we forget and we forgive and we do not impart harm on someone else. And then we ended with a healing circle. Can I tell you how powerful that day was? It was amazing. And then the following week, on May the 4th, we had our third prom dress giveaway. We gave away, we had about 450 dresses, shoes, purses, jewelry, makeup, hair, and food. And all of our events are free to the community. We do not charge, because we believe that those that have the greatest need also are the least, have the have the
least amount of resources.
Thank you. Have the least amount of resources. They're economically impacted, and so we want to give them as much as we possibly can. Long story short, we believe that violence and abuse begins in the womb.
Yep.
And we say that because most women who are abused while they're pregnant, they were abused before. And the likelihood of that abuse happening further is 60.6%. And when they're abused, they're really physically, emotionally abused. And our children experience the same things. They hear, when we sing, they hear that screaming, they hear the hollering, they feel the punching. And so our children have experienced experienced violence before they were even born.
Yep.
And that violence shows up in so many ways. Sometimes it shows up like, I'm just calm, you don't see me reacting, but inside I'm burning. And I'm burning until I can't do it anymore. Sometimes they're quiet. Sometimes it shows up differently. And so that's really, long story short, not even short. That's what we do.
But impactful.
That men's program sounds really good. Is that something you guys are going to do like every year or something like that?
This was our third one.
This is your third one. Okay. And how can people
growing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. And how can people
participate? Like, are you looking for more panelists for that, for your men's program?
Yes. Every year we bring in new speakers. Okay. We love people from the community because we often see people bring in people from out of state, out of country, to talk about the things that we've experienced. And sometimes that's a great thing. We started our very first conference with Tony Porter from A Call to Men, who is a fantastic advocate. But we also realized that we have great talent right in our community.
Yes. And sometimes when you reach into your community and for the talent, people are more receptive of it because they say, they feel more in line or in tune to that person, as opposed to going to get some famous person coming in speaking. This is somebody that looks like you, came from where you came from, so you kind of have a different impact on people.
Yes, absolutely.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I am interested. How did you even get here to have such... How? Just what's the how?
Thank you for asking. So, in 1997, the Spirit told me to be a teacher.
Okay.
And I told the Spirit, oh, hell no. I'm not going to do it.
Hell no.
I'm going to beat a kid and I'm going to beat a parent.
In that order.
In that order. And I was in sales and marketing, and my career skyrocketed. And as I continued to grow and grow and grow, I started losing myself. So in 2007, I was vice president of sales of a technology company. I was making all the money in the world, and my spirit was dead. I was driving to work crying every day, getting high, drinking, depressed, and I did not know. You hear the signs. You hear people talking about, the signs. But when you are so far in it, you can't see it.
Nope.
And I didn't see what was happening to me until June 10th, actually a little bit before this. But by June 10th, 2007, I was done. By 10:30 in the morning, I quit my job in Glendale, and I drove from Glendale to Kaiser Mental Health in Lomita. And I said, I need to see someone. I knew that if I'm sleeping 10, 11 hours a day and waking up exhausted, and I'm crying, and I'm really thinking about hurting somebody as I'm going to work, a whole bunch of people actually, except for myself. I wasn't thinking about hurting me. But I knew I was not me. And so I filled out this long, 1,900 questionnaire. Maybe it was 100 questions.
But it felt like 1900.
It did.
Yeah, I felt that way when I had to fill out that form for the psych for the sheriff's department. I was like, Jesus.
Right.
I started to feel like I was kind of crazy after I finished filling out that form.
And especially because they asked you a lot of the same questions differently.
Yes.
I'm like, I already answered this.
Yeah.
So they let me go into a room, and I got on the bed. I pulled the covers over my head, and I cried. for hours. And then I went to sleep.
So they admitted you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this was just in their intake.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Like at, if you go to a regular doctor.
Like a doctor, before you go see the doctor, you got to fill out all the stuff. Yeah.
And so I'm laying on the bed. It wasn't really a bed, the little whatever.
Let's call it a Chase Lounge. That sounds cute.
Okay, the Chase.
From our fashionista.
Right. And so I'm there, and I'm crying, and I'm sleeping, and I'm crying and sleeping. And I could see someone kept opening the door every so often. And finally, they came in, and they said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yes." And we had a long conversation. I was there probably a good 4 or 5 hours. Wow. And they said, "You were chronically stressed and clinically depressed." Or maybe I was chronically depressed and clinically stressed. I don't remember. And I had a little taste of menopause. I felt so much better because I said to myself, man, I thought I was going crazy.
Right. Someone gets it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I realize I am, and that's okay. And I actually went home, and I went to bed for 30 days. And I did not talk for 30 days. I did not get out the bed for 30 days. I'm sure I did not take a shower for 30 days. And I slept for about 20 hours a day for 30 days. I was exhausted. I could not function at all. And then after 30 days, I woke up and I said, okay, I need to do something. And I actually reverted, and then I couldn't sleep. So I slept for maybe 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 2 to 3 hours a day for maybe another 30 days. I started pacing my house. I wouldn't go outside until 1 in the morning. And long story short, I was walking to the kitchen and looked out the window, and I saw a woman outside whose hair was grayer than mine, her face was gray, everything about her was gray. And when I came back, she was there, except for she moved a little bit. I passed her, and then I went back, and I realized I was looking in the mirror. I was not looking outside, and I didn't recognize myself. So I then started doing something that I had completely forgotten, and that was praying. I forgot to pray. I took God and all my beliefs, and I left them somewhere, and I started praying. And maybe a week or so later, there was a journal on the side of my bed. I don't know who put it there. I don't know how long it'd been there. I started journaling and realized all these thoughts that were circling in my head that were over and over repeated, I started addressing them and getting this pain out of me. And slowly but surely, I started to heal. And then my wonderful brother, he is a Los Angeles police officer. Hey, brother. Tony Newsom.
Hey, brother. LAPD. Hey, brother. LA Sheriff's over here, though. Okay.
And Tony
Why are we banging?
We're straight banging in here. It's okay. They all carry guns.
You know where.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
So,
and we're all brothers and sisters
right.
in law enforcement. So no matter what color we wear, we're all there for each other.
Exactly.
Yes.
Way to clean it up, Gia. Way to clean it up.
You know.
So my brother came and asked me to take over his company, the Positive Results Corporation. And I told him no. Told God no, tell you no. But I didn't really know what it was.
Okay.
You know what? I don't think you should have said that, because now they're going to think they can tell me no because you told your brother no.
Whoa.
See? Yeah.
That was a stretch.
All roads lead back.
Okay.
So after a period of maybe a few more months, it was probably by this time, maybe June or July of 2018, I realized that I didn't want to go back to work. I realized that I had way too many skills. I had been blessed in way too many ways, and I needed to do something different. So I said, okay, let me try this nonprofit thing. And I started going to meetings and finding these people that I never paid attention to. We called them politicians. And I started learning the field and navigating it and volunteering with other people really to understand what is a nonprofit and what was my mission and my personal commitment going to be, because I don't believe in just half stepping into something. Right. I'm going to give it my whole. And then I realized all the things that I was doing in corporate America, effective communication, conflict resolution, tolerance, diversity, was missing with our kids. And so that's where I decided, okay, I'm ready for this. And I really started doing that and loved it. And then my very first workshop that I had subcontracted with a major organization to do a 7-month leadership class for kids. This young lady, after I told her who my kids were, because I believe that in order to work with people, you've got to share some of yourself. Mm-hmm. You can't come in and act like, oh, look, absolutely. I'm in charge, you're not, just tell me, I'm not going to tell you anything. Mm-hmm. So I tell them everything about me and my family. And this little girl, a 12-year-old, said, so do you and your daughters fight? I'm like, girl, look at me. I'm black. What do you mean? No, we don't fight. Mm-hmm. And I asked her, well, do you and your mom fight? And she said, please. I hit that B so hard, she was knocked out for 2 days.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, after I swallowed my tongue, I realized a couple of things. A, this is how kids talk. She wasn't being rude and disrespectful. That's just her conversation. And there had to be some bigger
That wasn't her rude or disrespectful?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was just her
okay.
having a conversation.
Right, because that's how her conversations are in her home.
Exactly. Her home and her community.
Yeah.
And so I had been doing research, but now I had to go back and do a whole different research.
I got to find some
answers.
I need some answers.
Some tools.
Some positive results.
Right. And the tools really blew my mind because as I started looking for the answers, there were none. There were no organizations in all of Los Angeles County that were addressing teens and teen dating violence in January of 2010. And so I said, okay, well, I believe instead of asking who, just do it. So I started getting my research together. I started going to classes. I became a certified domestic violence advocate, certified sexual assault advocate, crisis counselor, suicide awareness prevention expert, and bully expert. And I did that working with everyone, sheriff, police, probation, Department of Mental Health, all of my partners in the community, Watch Gang Task Force, Ceasefire, and talking to kids and being real honest.
I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
With all the amazing work that you're doing with youth, that also comes with
parents
having to deal with parents. So can you talk to me about what that conversation looks like? Are they not a non-participant? Do you help kids that don't have parent support? Or do you require the parents to be a part of the healing and solutions?
That's a good question. So we deal with all kinds of kids. Some of them are foster, some are homeless, some are single parents, some are multiple parent. And parents are allowed to participate. We encourage it, and oftentimes we don't get it. And that is because of so many different ways. They're in their own trauma, and they don't want to address it. They're working 2 or 3 jobs, trying to just maintain.
How did we get lost in a society where most adults, they say this often, they say, I want your life to be better than mine. I want you to have more than I did. But when you talk to them about the trauma that is being inflicted upon their children by them or other family members, they still will not acknowledge or resolve it.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there when their mouth is saying one thing, but their actions are showing something completely different? Talk to me about that.
So, I'm born and raised here in Los Angeles.
You're a unicorn.
Hey.
Lord.
Hey.
Right. I've seen some things, and from my research, this is where I think everything broke down. So, when I came out of high school, I think I'm the senior here, because when I came out of high school in 1976, I used to go party at this club, and I remember standing on the patio, and everybody around me was smoking a joint, and there was this one lady who was smoking, but she wasn't smoking a joint. Yes, she was smoking that PCP that Angel does, but she was pregnant. And what people don't understand is everybody thinks, oh, I could get high, and I could stop, and about 3 to 6 months later, it's out of my system.
Right.
That means it just won't show up on a drug test, but it has become part of your DNA.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And so think about 1976, this woman getting high, Angel dust, having a child. that child was more than likely misidentified as an ADD baby.
Mm-hmm.
And that child was given Ritalin and all other kinds of medicines. Maybe, right.
Yeah, maybe.
Then the 80s and the crack cocaine episode hit. Again, they started self-soothing with that. But here's where, in my opinion, the whole world changed and why we're dealing with the things we're dealing with today. For the first time in the history of the world, mothers left their children. Mm-hmm. There has never been another time in the entire history of the world that we willingly walked away. Now, we've had our children taken away, but we've never walked away. But because of the drugs, then we became known as strawberries.
Yep.
We started selling ourselves. And what happened is you have a 10-year-old, maybe an 8-year-old, who is now the head of the family. And they're trying to navigate this world. And everyone at that time that came into their world wanted something from them, and they couldn't trust because they had no place of reference. My mom and my dad, my protector or my providers are gone. I've got these people that are trying to take from me, whether they're trying to take my personal space, my physical body, my sexuality, drugs. And I believe from all of the work that I've done and talking with families, that is really what happened. And now we have people that are in their trauma, that are your average grandmother is 35.
Mm-hmm. You don't have Big Mama no more.
Right. There was, somebody said to me, they
got
were at a
Mama.
conference.
Little Mama twerking in the club.
Yeah.
Right.
With her grandchild.
With her grandchild. And this woman said to me, another woman said to her, who is this Big Mama y'all talking about?
Whoa.
Because they don't know. Mm-hmm. They didn't have someone teach them how to take care of their body and take care of their hygiene. So I've been sexually assaulted. I've been physically, emotionally abused. I've been mentally destroyed. I have been crushed and put down. And so how am I supposed to navigate this world? And here I am at 35 or 40. You want to show up and be my friend.
Right.
F you and the horse you rode in on. I don't want to have nothing to do with you because I don't trust. Because trust was broken before they were even born.
Yep. Well, I see that you have some cool stuff going on with Kaiser. I started a partnership with Kaiser, the Child Abuse Prevention Department, and we are doing a lot of awareness. And I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about what you have going on and where people can get in contact with you and be a part of all the amazingness you have going on.
Thank you. And we love partners. We love, love, love partners. So we love Kaiser Permanente.
Yes.
They have been a longtime partner for a while now. And we have a youth leadership series that we're partnering with Kaiser Downey and Kaiser South Bay as well. Okay. And so what we're doing is we're going out and we're bringing in adults, people that live and work in the community that will come in and mentor and talk to the youth and young adults so that they could see that these kids are just kids. They're not bad people. They need direction and they need support. And hopefully they can then mentor them and or hire them. So we're doing this leadership series that includes, again, our first workshop is always self-assessment. Who are you as opposed to who somebody else said you are? Because once you know who you are,
don't matter what nobody
one
else
can
says.
take that away.
Yep.
And they can't tell you who you are. There's self-esteem, effective communication, conflict resolution, tolerance, diversity, health, hygiene, and etiquette, financial empowerment, not financial literacy. I want you to be independently wealthy. And however you go about that, there's different ways. It doesn't have to be one way. And most kids don't even know what a checking account is anymore. Mm-hmm. So we talk about financial empowerment. And we're looking for organizations. You can contact us at www.prc123.org, or you can email us at info@prc123.org to either enroll your kids in our program, for you as a parent to participate, and to learn how to have effective conversations with your kids, especially about consent. Don't be fooled. Little Johnny, little Susie, they're having sex out
Yes,
the
they
right
are.
and left side of their drawers. And
Oh,
you act
right
like,
and the left.
Yes, and you
Oh.
act like, oh, they're so sweet, and they are sweet. But they've been watching you.
Yep.
Oh.
So we will, we'll definitely have all of Kandee's information on the My Morning Coffee Facebook page. Please make sure if you have the opportunity to reach out, partner with this organization, be a part of the healing and the solutions, definitely do that. Check it out on our page. Make sure you are able to, donate some time, dedicate some time to being a part of the solution.
Right, and we are interested in people to come and join us for our Manhood Conference. We have our annual fundraiser, which is the only thing that we ever charge for, and it's about our Purple Purse campaign.
Yes, that's how I met you.
Yes.
I still got my little purple thing on my purse. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am,
your
I do.
purple tassel.
Yes.
Awesome. So this year, and for the last few years, we've been honoring survivors. So if you know a survivor who should be honored, we want to celebrate them.
Yep.
People, they don't know the backstory. Mm-hmm. You all are beautiful women. And if someone pulled everything away to look to see, well, what's inside, they may be surprised.
Absolutely.
So don't
Girl,
be surprised. Don't be surprised at the stories, at the truth that you hear. Because it is our truth.
Absolutely.
And we live in that, and that does not take away our value, our beauty, or our strength.
Amen.
And that's some of the things that we do.
Awesome. Syreeta, what do you have coming up? And where can they find you?
So, let's see. Wednesday, like I said, I have my my cultural diversity workshop. I'm also getting licensed in Georgia. So I've been working with that, and I have some exciting things that I'm planning for that as well. And let's see where you can find me, www.SyreetaButlerMFT.com. Also, Instagram at SyreetaBMFT.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it.
Awesome.
That's enough. Don't come looking for me any other place.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I have on the 15th, is that tomorrow? In 2 days.
2 days.
With Marcy Klein of Klein Creative Media. We are doing a branding and being ready for the camera seminar. So that'll be cool. We're having it at Klein Creative Media. So if you want to come out, and it's free.
Why do you keep looking at me?
Because you should come, because we've been talking about logos for a while. But we'll just leave that right there. So, Klein Creative Media, Marcy and I are doing that on the 15th. And I actually have some cool things coming up, and I want you to check me out at PRBizMom on Instagram or Twitter because I keep it coming. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me because I'm open. I'm an open book. Miss Gia, you want to let us know what's going on? Oh, yeah, that was PRBizMom or TonyaMcKenzie.com. And Gia's going to go ahead and let us know what she has coming up and then take us out of here.
Real quick, I have the Mid-City Music and Art Festival coming up, and I'm also going to be working on products. So look for new head wraps, jewelry, and hand-painted clothing and accessory items from Mahogany Box. You can find me at shopthemahoganybox.com or on IG, The Mahogany Box, or on Facebook, Mahogany Box. But before we go, real quick, before we get out of here, we want to say one of our hosts celebrated a birthday while we were off, and we want to just let everybody say happy birthday to her. We want to tell her happy birthday. So we surprised her. She's going to probably be mad, but oh well, who cares? Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! And these are from Sweet Red Peach.
Oh my God! Then we have cupcakes.
That Sweet Red Peach is the absolute bomb in Inglewood, and they have graced us with all this yummy goodness.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
She will let
Thank you. And be sure to tune in a week and a half for My Morning Coffee.
Where it will be
hot, bold, strong, and full of flavor.
Hey.
Nice.